What if the most terrifying monsters weren't hiding in your closet or under your bed, but living right next door, smiling at you in the grocery store? This is the chilling true story of Ed Gein, the man whose quiet, unassuming life hid a darkness so profound it would inspire some of horror's most iconic villains. Picture it, Plainfield, Wisconsin, the 1950s. A sleepy small town where everyone knows everyone. And everyone knew Eddie Gein. He was odd, a quiet, shy handyman who lived alone on his family's isolated farm after his mother, Augusta, passed away. To most, he was just a bit of a local eccentric, harmless. But the Gein farm held secrets buried deeper than any grave. It all started to unravel on November 16, 1957. Bernice Worden, the owner of the local hardware store, vanished. The last person to see her? Ed Gein. He'd been in the store that morning. When investigators went to his farm, they were prepared for a routine check. They were not prepared for what they found. The scene that greeted them was a real-life house of horrors. It wasn't just cluttered. It was a museum of the macabre. They found bowls made from human skulls, a lampshade crafted from human skin, chair seats upholstered with tanned human hides, a belt made of nipples, a corset fashioned from a female torso, and in a shed, Bernice Worden's body hanging upside down, dressed out like a deer. The investigation uncovered a horrifying truth. For years, under the cover of darkness, Ed Gein had been visiting local cemeteries. He would dig up the graves of recently buried women who he said resembled his late mother. He'd take their bodies back to his farm, not for any ritual, but for materials. He was trying to create in his own twisted way a woman suit made of real skin, so he could literally become his mother, a woman who had dominated and warped his entire existence. See, Augusta Gein was a fanatically religious woman who preached that all women, besides herself, were sinful and evil. She isolated Ed and his brother on their farm, keeping them from the corrupting influence of the outside world. After she died, Ed was completely alone, lost in a world he didn't understand, consumed by a bizarre and terrifying desire to resurrect the only woman he'd ever known. Ed Gein was never convicted of murder except for Bernice Worden's. He was found not guilty by reason of insanity and spent the rest of his life in a mental institution. But his legacy of horror lived on. His grotesque creations and deranged obsession with his mother became the direct inspiration for some of cinema act's most unforgettable monsters: Norman Bates in Psycho, Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Buffalo Bill in The Silence of the Lambs. The quiet handyman from Plainfield became a blueprint for evil, a chilling reminder that sometimes the most monstrous acts are committed by the people you least expect. If you find the shadows as fascinating as we do, make sure to like and subscribe to Dark Visions for more tales from the abyss.